Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Day 9 Daily, where we learn to be a better gamer. Old person voices. Needs to be empty. Check. Yes, there's still a sticker on this IKEA mug. Look, and if I tilt it like this, you can see outer space through the mug. Yes. Alright. We were talking about adjustment. We watched the baseline game, the Terran winning game, and now we're going to watch the Zerg winning game. But we're not going to do it in a strategic, long-term sense. We're going to do it as a all-in win. Oh, watcha watcha woo. Let's check it out. This is going to be a very short third game. The map is Overgrowth. Artosis has left the game. Dum da. Once upon a time, life did an extractor trick. Oh, nice. First Overlord takes the beeline route to get to the expansion as quickly as possible. Second Overlord takes the beeline route to spot for any potential all-ins as fast as possible. The most glorious of scout patterns. We see a hatch go down, we see drones get built, we see an extractor follow up, and a pool at the hilt. There it is. Deflickety flam. So here we're going to see life do what, again, might look slightly unusual. He's dipping to this right side to see if he can spot the hatch, or excuse me, not the hatch, the barracks. If he gets here, he should almost always see a Marine. It's very important when you're doing these scouts to know if you can get back there in time, and I think you can, but let's be honest, no one really gets a Marine these days. It's largely a Reaper-focused play. So of course, this fine moment, having spotted this, is great. And he's parking himself right here to be able to do that spotting at this expansion. I think I'm allergic to Tristan's dog, Locke, which just hurts my little heart. We see one dude left in the gas geyser. We saw a long-term play with that. We saw a relatively roach-focused play with that. We're seeing it in this game. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Oh, by the way, pro tip. A lot of times people build a spine crawler if they're getting shot at. Here we saw the drone build the extractor while he's getting shot at. If you are kind of caught in the open and you need to build a structure fast, don't build a spine crawler. Build a spore crawler. A spore crawler is cheaper, and notice that it builds in 30 seconds as opposed to 50 seconds, which means that it gains health faster. In Zerg vs. Zerg especially, it's really good to throw down a spore crawler and cancel it than it is to throw down a spine crawler and cancel it. It's easy to throw down the spine crawler, and then you just get killed by Zerglings, and then you've lost the money for the spine crawler and you've lost the drone. So build spore crawlers instead of spine crawlers if you're intending on canceling. Pro tip. But great. Everything is as to be expected. Life is now chilling here at the front to monitor what's going on with the barracks. Very good. Life's doing the same stuff as before. He's building a few extra lings just as insurance. No queen getting built here. One queen getting built here. Still one in the gas. And then, remember that thing I said oh so long ago? And by oh so long ago, I mean at the end of the last segment. The third command center was hidden every single time. In fact, think about the last two maps. It's been Frost and Overgrowth. Or excuse me, Frost and Merry-Go-Round. A 4-player map and a 3-player map. Here it's a 2-player map, so life does have the opportunity to be able to park an Overlord in prime position to check for a third command center. It might get built here. Even if it wasn't built here, right around 5 minutes, life can just march this Overlord right into the main base. There's no Marines yet. There's no chance of it getting killed off. So great. It's a command center from Innovation. Easily spottable. So Look at the larva about to pop off. It's going to pop off at 5:25. The juiciest timing known to man. Okay, 5:29, that's fine. 24 drones have been built. One is still in the gas geyser. Let's talk about timing. Every one of these larvae is a Zergling now. Every damn ass one of them. We see the factory's only just begun to build. Those Hellions take 30 seconds. These Zerglings take about 30 seconds. So 24 Zerglings will pop out at the exact second that 2 Hellions pop out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. What you gonna do? 16 in this main. 8 over here. These 6 were built much long ago at the start. Now, what is a life to do? Well, he's just getting a Roach Warren and then putting a bunch of dudes back in gas. He thinks he can break in through here right away. Now, why would he think that? Why would he think that he could break in? Well, wait a minute. Wait a darn minute. My opponent went for a 3rd command center. I don't see a bunker. Do you see a bunker? I don't see a bunker. In fact, I don't even see Marines that have gotten built. There's no way Marines have been built yet. No bunker, no bunker. Okay, well, cool. Takes 50 seconds to build a bunker. Oh, excuse me, 40 seconds. Whoopsie daisies. Wrong defensive structure. Yeah, everything takes 40 seconds except a spine. What a butthole. So yeah, no wall off attempt, no bunker attempt. Marches right on up and begins to rally ho. Very importantly, it's hard to emergency wall off this area. It's very easy to just not have the funds to be able to do that. Life is probably the best player in the world at these Zergling timings. Does it so often. Innovation just appears to be holding strong. And Life just marches that 3rd queen right across the map. Here comes 7 more roaches, oh no! 8 roaches. Very hard all in to hold off. I think now you have to build mines. I think that's the correct thing to do. I think you have to build mines right now. I believe. I'm not positive of that. But the big all-in from Life. Round 1, nearly won. Actually, to point out, round 1 didn't do nearly as much damage as you would have thought, but it kind of broke the front down enough for round 2 to be very, very effective. It's a little push that's very convenient to do when your opponent skips the bunker, cuts all the corners, and shows himself getting the 3rd command center, because players are just not really building mines in their build that much anymore. They're just going for a lot of Hellions with Reapers, and these pushes can be super effective. And then we're watching a Zerg player just be Zerg and just win by Zerging. Is this the end? Both get picked off before burrowing, which stinks. GG! Let's take questions. The important thing to note from this entire episode is the fact that if you have a good, solid, stable foundation, you don't need to do big changes when you see your opponent doing something vulnerable or doing a particularly odd style. You can adjust, and little adjustments are so good. Allows you to utilize the practice you have so dutifully put in, as well as fucking win! Boom! Cerebral09 says, Day 9, is that 1 queen marching across the map really that significant in the last game? The short answer is not hugely, but that is what sets like the tip-top pros apart from the kind of top pros. In fact, almost at any tier, this is what lets you get higher and higher up, is that ability to get an extra edge here and an extra edge there. a lot of not really significant moves adds up to be quite a lot. The simplest and first realization of this was constant worker production. If I can just squeeze in one extra worker here, I'll have a little bit better economy. Just keep getting in just one extra worker. So the important thing is that the queen is not needed at home, so why not bring it to the front lines? In a similar vein of logic, let's say you are performing an all-in with, let's say, X gateways, and you only need 40 probes to constantly pump out of these gateways. If you have 50 probes, then technically it is correct to bring 10 probes along with the fight to strengthen the all-in. The only reason you wouldn't want to bring the queen, or wouldn't want to bring those drones, or wouldn't want to have that extra edge participating in that fight is because you have a really damn good reason for it not to be. Like, oh, I need that queen at home because I have a third hatch that's almost done, so I need to make sure it can inject there. Jujika Bane says, Day 9, in part 2 we saw innovation take advantage of Life's lack of Spire. What do you think the correct response to innovation's play would have been for Life in this situation? An intriguing question. Probably taking a 4th base sooner is the general gist of the thing. Roach Hydra, again, is really, really strong in those big open spaces, but gets increasingly weaker as both players get a nice big maxed army. If you saw Innovation's play, it was hyper defensive. Tanks sieged up on high ground, then slowly moving to low ground and quickly building a bunch of bunkers and getting the tanks sieged up. The tanks were almost never mobilized at any point in time. This gives Life plenty of opportunity to take a 4th base. He's struggling to defend against drops, so he needs to play defensive anyways. So why not just take more bases and happily defend them? Or, excuse me, struggling is the wrong word. If you're struggling to defend some number of bases, don't expand more. That statement is false. It's that if your units have to stay in a defensive posture, then you may as well get up another expansion. That's the better way to put it. Like, for instance, innovation. If you're going to be turtling with a whole bunch of bunkers and siege tanks, do it in a way that you can get another base up. If you have to keep your roaches back at home to deal with drops, then just put a 4th base down and put some roaches over there. There we go. Oh, question from the anti-citizen saying, Dana, have you done a ZVT daily on mech? I'd love to see something on that match because I'm having a hard time with it. Yeah. Let me go to my archive. Let me search mech. How to wreck mech. There we go. Daily number 679 with the same space background. There you go. Posted in chat. Daily 679. How to wreck mech. Damn. Damn, I'm on point. Boom. Brendan501 says, Day 9, why do you think that ventral sacks are used less tactically than warp prism play in medevacs? It's the idea of not needing to really commit until the last second. If I have a warp prism on the map, it's 2 supply, and if at any time I see there's an opportunity, that 200 mineral, 2 supply investment can be a whole army in your base, if that's where you're weak. Or if I have a big force encroaching on me, I can just warp in the whole army back home. And I never have to do any countering, and the Warp Prism can just sit idle. The Overlord, on the other hand, has this commitment issue where you kind of do have to... do some fancy stuff. Really position hard, commit, like really hard. So that's generally the reason, but matchups in which it would be quite reasonable. I think if you are going Roach Hydra, loading up a couple roaches, going into the main base of Terran, attacking, burrowing, and splitting up Going to be great. Not a big commitment again. Let's do one more. Oh, Anton Bischoff Frederick says, do you think drop play could be a really nice response to defensive Terran play? I'll just continue on this. Drops are rarely ever good against a very defensive player unless they're doing a very thin defense. So for instance, if I am a Protoss player and I have set something up where I am using one gateway with really careful positioning and like one Stargate and 2 Void Rays to barely hold 3 bases early, yeah, if you do a drop, then I'm just going to shatter your position really quickly. But in the last game, Innovation was just building a huge army and just sitting it at home in his base. So if you drop, you are dropping in the heart of a huge army in a good position. So it's defensive isn't the key thing. It's when there's a thin defense at home, which sometimes can be a result of someone doing a very quick series of expands, or it can be an aggressive player who's doing a lot of attacking and has his force at you, so you just kind of swing and drop back and hit him in his main base. Let's see here. People are asking questions about Hearthstone, but I want StarCraft questions. There's a lot of questions on there. Oh, Almost Gamer asks a great question. Day 9, is it viable for life not to go all in Game 3, but to expand and follow up with a macro game in an instance where his all-in fails, or maybe as part of a plan? In other words, can he like go for roaches and just do an attack and then be expanding behind? I think for that to be that effective, Life needs to have committed earlier to the roaches to really hit hard early and fast, which he has done. Life has done exactly that, and I think I did a show on that a little while ago. I think maybe do it versus Protoss. The answer is I'm not sure. It's very close. That's one of those things that's not about the logic of the situation. It's about the very carefully done timings of the situation. If you can time it just right, yeah, you can do a roach attack and expand behind it. I don't know if that's going to be guaranteed effective. That's one of those things that the only way that you would know is to test it. So the correct answer for me to provide is to say how you would test it. What I would first do is download this game. You can get it on day9.tv. I'll just show it up on screen. If you go to day9.tv to the home, you'll see there's Life vs. Innovation right there. You just click on it. You're going to see my mutant face up on the screen right now. But if you go down, god damn, the webmaster is really good. Jesus, Gabe, already had the photo up there. Yeah, there's the replay pack right there. Look, here's the questions that I'm answering right now. That's amazing. Wow, on point. Yeah, replay pack right there. Get that. Once you have snatched up that replay pack, what you want to do is write down the times of when your opponent, or when you would see Innovation have the 2 Reapers, when the first 2 Hellions are out, the next 2 Hellions, the next 2 Hellions. Also write down the time of the earliest that Innovation can begin building Marauders and Mines. So once you begin to have all these times listed out, you don't even need an opponent. You can, on your own, do an opening, build some roaches, send them over, expand behind, and say something like, huh, I can get 6 roaches to his base when he has 6 Hellions and 2 Reapers. I'm not really going to do that much damage with that. Okay, let me do a little twisting around. Okay, now I'm getting the 6 roaches there at around 7 minutes. he actually doesn't even quite have Hellions 3 and 4 out right now, so that's maybe a little bit better. And in the process of doing that, you can begin to build an understanding of how to do that. Remember, knowledge is not as important as process. You want to have the good process that can poop out the knowledge on the other end. I'm done. I'm going to go. Goodbye. I love you so much. Big thanks to Harrison Jones and me also for the sub. Harrison Jones and me on the radio. Everybody loves.